I can't tell anymore whether Sabrina is truly evil or not, but the show is. I said in my Season 2 review, if you go back and look, this show was in danger of tripping itself up by trying to follow Season 2. And I mentioned the way that the cop-outs were beginning to get annoying. Well, they straight up destroyed the entire show in one episode with the Season 3 finale. After getting rid of Lucifer himself as the main villain, the biggest thing going, what's the backup? Pagans, great, okay. That's fine, because you've managed to weaken Sabrina and her coven by taking away the devil so that they can't kill them easily, so then it all makes sense, I guess. The promise of this season was that Sabrina was going to go to hell and get Nick back. Great. She does that in the first episode. The rest of the season is about her fighting with a maybe new lover boy over 3 magical trials, which, if I'm not mistaken, was exactly what she did with Nick for the top boy position in the academy in Season 2. Just now, it's to be Monarch of Hell. Of course, it doesn't really matter who wins because it's a very hollow position. You don't actually get any new powers or anything. You don't have the Dark Lord's powers if you're just sitting on the throne, so it's kind of like, whatever. I mean, just anyone could kill Sabrina super easily because Satan being her father is only helpful when it really needs to be. But that's not the worst part of this season. Let's get further into this. This is my 1-minute review for the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Part 3. Right, so not only do Sabrina's friends go from having complex and interesting stories in Season 2 to just all straight up being horny, and nothing else this time around, not only does Nick go in the space of 3 episodes from all that Sabrina cares about to completely irrelevant to the show, not only does this show have the spinelessness of a jellyfish, but also, it just felt like such a huge letdown, it really did. Despite the mistakes of this season, I was going to put it on par with the first season, if not the second, until the last episode. I couldn't keep track of everything that was going on by the end of episode 7, but I was so excited going into the finale, and then the finale. I've complained, I think, in both my reviews of parts 1 and 2, that Ambrose can do or research anything needed to know in 3 minutes of screen time. But my god, time travel! The time loop she was trapped in, that is something we'll just ignore, because how the hell did that start? But besides that, this time egg thing that nobody had any clue what it was or how to use it except for Blackwood, Ambrose has managed to keep for decades and knows all about. Great. The Green Man the Pagan Summit is supposed to immediately be able to wipe out all flesh on Earth or something vague like that, but Ambrose is fine. Alright. Also, let's talk about that time loop. Who rescued Sabrina the first time the time loop started? How did it start? She couldn't have rescued herself the first time. She was trapped there. She didn't get out. I'm so far over the minute review, but I don't care. This is too important. Going back in time, creating a time paradox, fixing everything with an incredibly boring and very predictable episode. Not okay. But then to just go without any hint that she might actually sacrifice herself and become encased in stone forever, replacing and finishing the time loop, she just kind of goes, nah, I'll just do this, and it's fine. And yes, there might be consequences for that going into Season 4, but it just feels like such a shit heap to end the season on. Now, instead of making the incredibly difficult season-long choice between her family and hell, and also, she really just suddenly went, oh, I'll abandon my family in episode 7. There was no build to that. That was a Daenerys Targaryen move. And then she just did a 180 because of time travel. And that's fine, and she doesn't want to be Queen of Hell, full stop. But she is, and she's also not, and there's 2 of her. Shit! If you'd set up the finale so Harvey was being prepared for sacrifice, everyone was trapped and screwed, and then Sabrina escapes somehow at the very beginning of the episode and wades into the war between Hell and the Pagans to save her friends and takes down Blackwood, etc., that could have been great. Instead, we get a nonsensical pile of crap. I have no idea what's going on. Caliban had this whole romantic angle with her, and that was building, and that was interesting. And how was that changing his character throughout the season? It doesn't. He's exactly the same person as he was at the start, and just... There's nothing about that mentioned, and he's just trapped in stone now. And there's no finish to that. What happened to the deal he offered her? Nothing, it's just gone. The whole thing is a truly terrible mess, and when I was worried they needed to go too big to follow taking down Lucifer in the 2nd season, I was right, because they ended up going so big that the only way to fix it for a 4th season was the Uno reverse card. And what's worse is everything went perfect, okay? If you do time travel, right, to fix everything, it's gotta be like, let's say Avengers Endgame. Tony, Black Widow, dead. Consequences. Much changes because of it, okay? Not just, oh, fixed. That's just shit. That's the kind of teenagey, childish show that I was praising this for not being for the first 2 seasons. That's what it's turned into. Especially with, what are all the musical interludes? I thought it was kind of fun the first time or two, but it kept happening. It's the ultimate cop-out. None of the characters are even vaguely affected by it at the end, despite ending the penultimate episode of the season with, I mean, Harvey was dead, Nick was encased in stone, Robin was dead, right? Both aunts were dead. Even the bloody Hilda's guy, Professor Z. Nope, he's just fine. Great. I loved it for 7 episodes, so I'm not going to give it a bad score. I'm going to give it 72 out of 100, but the finale lowers that by 10 marks. Fortunately, the show probably answered their own problem about where to go from here.
Honestly, first purgatory, now hell, what's next? Heaven.
Also, and I really mean this, whoever came up with the line, hell needs a makeover, can go fuck themselves. Her entire platform was to reform hell. She never mentioned a single change she wanted to make except not to invade Earth and make it the 10th circle, which would be keeping hell the same as it's always been. So Caliban is the reformist.